There is an order in the universe that never fails. The planets move by it, the tides obey it, the seasons turn by it. And yet, man, the only creature capable of aligning himself with this law, spends his life resisting it. He allows emotion to dictate reason, impulse to destroy purpose, and habit to defeat potential. But once a man aligns with this order, once he learns to rule his inner world, all things external begin to fall in place. That is the secret of a life that works. Harmony between the mind, the emotion, and the law of cause and effect. The undisciplined mind blames circumstance, the disciplined mind commands it. The man who governs his thought governs his fate. The man who obeys principle commands prosperity. You cannot live a successful life by chance, only by law. Every failure is the result of violated principle. Every success is the reward of obedience to it. There are 7 invisible laws, 7 rules that shape all lives, whether you are aware of them or not. Those who learn them rise. Those who neglect them repeat. They are not rules of morality. They are rules of power. They do not ask what you believe. They reveal what works. And to master them, you must begin where all mastery begins, within. The first rule is govern your emotions, or they will govern your destiny. The difference between those who drift and those who dominate lies not in talent, but in temperament. The undisciplined mind reacts. The masterful mind responds. Emotion is energy. It is neither good nor bad until you decide what direction to send it. Anger, fear, desire, doubt, these are natural forces, but when they control your choices, they destroy your command. Control them, and they become fuel. The man who remains calm under pressure is already 10 moves ahead of the one who panics. Emotional detachment is not indifference. It is intelligence. It is the refusal to surrender your peace to the unpredictable moods of others. It is the discipline of choosing principle over passion. When emotion rules, logic dies. But when logic leads, emotion serves. Mastery begins the moment you learn to pause between stimulus and response, when you choose understanding over reaction. The second rule is discipline your mind, or your mind will discipline you. Every thought is a seed, and the subconscious is fertile ground. What you plant repeatedly grows with mathematical precision. You cannot sow confusion and reap clarity. You cannot feed your mind fear and expect faith. You cannot indulge distraction and expect direction. The mind is loyal. It will always return to whatever you feed it most often. The undisciplined thinker lets circumstance dictate focus. The master thinker dictates circumstance through focus. To discipline the mind is to become the gatekeeper of thought, to allow nothing to enter without examination. A single negative suggestion repeated becomes a belief. A single belief repeated becomes identity. And identity, once fixed, shapes destiny. Guard your gates. Choose your mental diet. Fill your consciousness with the images, the words, the principles that reflect who you intend to become. Discipline is not restriction, it is refinement. It is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the process by which chaos becomes order and order becomes power. The undisciplined resent routine because they mistake freedom for indulgence, but freedom without direction is decay. The disciplined live by rhythm, by method, by law. They understand that repetition is not monotony, it is mastery. The third rule is think accurately. The average man forms opinions faster than he forms understanding. He reacts to appearances, accepts rumors as truth, and mistakes emotion for evidence, but success demands clarity. Accurate thinking is the habit of separating fact from opinion, cause from coincidence, substance from shadow. It requires patience, the willingness to hold a thought long enough to understand its essence before forming judgment. Accurate thinking is mental honesty. It is the courage to face truth even when it contradicts comfort. It is refusing to lie to yourself about effort, progress, or purpose. Those who master this rule become immune to manipulation. They no longer follow trends, they follow law. Their confidence is not arrogance, it is accuracy. They know because they have thought. The fourth rule is decide with finality and act with faith. Indecision is the thief of destiny. Every moment spent hesitating divides the mind and weakens the will. The world belongs to those who decide and stay decided. Faith is not a feeling, it is mental discipline. It is the calm certainty that what is conceived in thought will manifest in form through law. When you decide with clarity, you signal to every faculty of your being, this is the direction. Doubt fractures energy, decision focuses it. You do not need perfect conditions. You need perfect conviction. The law does not reward the hesitant. Once you decide, act, and do not turn back. The universe aligns with forward momentum. The act of decision ignites unseen forces that only reveal themselves to the committed. The weak seek guarantees. The strong create them. The fifth rule is control your attention. Attention is the currency of creation. Whatever you focus upon expands. Most people bankrupt themselves by spending attention on gossip, complaint, and fear. The wise invested in purpose, discipline, and growth. The secret of power lies in the ability to hold your mind on one idea until it bends reality. The sun burns only when its rays are concentrated. The mind creates only when attention is focused. If you wish to transform your world, stop scattering your attention across distractions. Every unfocused minute weakens momentum. Controlled attention is the root of genius, the secret of magnetism, the source of peace. He who can control his attention can control his destiny. The sixth rule is practice persistence. The path to mastery is paved with monotony. It demands repeated effort long after excitement fades. The undisciplined quit when the emotion of the dream fades. The disciplined continue until the dream is real. Every defeat carries within it the seed of education. Every delay conceals development. Persistence transforms impossibility into inevitability. The difference between success and failure is not speed, but stamina. The man who persists through fatigue, ridicule, and rejection becomes a force that nothing can stop. Time itself bows to persistence. Obstacles are finite. Endurance is infinite. The seventh and final rule is live by law, not by luck. The undisciplined hope, the disciplined expect. Luck is the name men give to results they do not understand. But the universe does not operate by accident, it operates by principle. When you align your thought with purpose, your emotion with calm, your effort with order, your results with law, success becomes mechanical. There is no mystery in mastery. There is only law obeyed long enough to become habit. The successful are not favored, they are consistent. The unsuccessful are not cursed, they are careless. The law serves all without bias. Those who live by it thrive. Those who ignore it suffer. And now, hear the truth that unites all 7 rules. Self-control is the foundation of all control. You cannot command wealth, relationships, or destiny until you can command thought. The man who governs himself governs all. Until you master the invisible, you remain a servant of the visible. You must therefore make yourself your greatest project. Refine your thinking as an artist refines his masterpiece. Train your emotions as a general trains his army. Discipline your habits as a craftsman disciplines his hand. Make your mind your laboratory, your will your tool, and your faith your foundation. The world does not change for those who wish. It changes for those who align. Emotion must obey principle. Action must obey purpose. Thought must obey discipline. This is the law of alignment, and it is unbreakable. To live a life that works, you must build it as the Creator built the cosmos through order. Nothing in nature rushes, yet everything is accomplished. The seed does not scream for growth. It obeys the rhythm of law. So must you. Success is not a sprint of emotion, but a march of precision. Detach from chaos. Govern your energy. Act with method. Think with accuracy. Decide with faith. Persist through adversity. Align with law. Then you will find that life begins to move with you, not against you. When emotion no longer rules your day, peace enters. When confusion no longer clouds your mind, clarity guides. When hesitation no longer divides your will, faith drives. And when faith, focus, and discipline become one, you have reached the summit of mastery. At that summit, life stops feeling like a struggle and begins to move like a symphony. You will sense timing in everything, when to speak, when to act, when to wait. You will not force results, you will attract them. You will not chase opportunity, you will magnetize it. You will not demand respect, you will command it. For the man who has mastered himself has already mastered the world. And that is the final secret. The world does not work for you until you work according to law. When you do, life itself becomes obedient to your thought. Stop reacting. Start ruling. Stop hoping. Start aligning. Stop drifting. Start deciding. This is how a life begins to work by design, not by default, by control, not by chaos, by silence, not by noise, by law, not by luck. And when you have built such a life calm, deliberate, unshakable, you will discover the highest form of success, peace. For peace is the proof of power. You will come to know that a life that works is not a life of chance, but of alignment. Every result you experience, whether peace or struggle, wealth or want, clarity or confusion, is the mirror of your inner state. Life does not happen to you, it responds through you. The moment you truly comprehend this, you stop reacting and start ruling. You realize that the world is not your master, but your reflection. You are not the victim of circumstance. You are the architect of condition. The invisible patterns of thought and emotion you tolerate are the blueprints from which your reality is built. The man whose inner world is disorderly will see chaos in every direction, for his perception bends everything he observes. The man who brings discipline to his thought and calmness to his feeling begins to see order where others see confusion. His success is not luck, it is law. Law made visible, law obeyed so faithfully that it now rewards him with power. The first step toward such alignment is to take full command of your emotional nature. The uncontrolled emotion is the saboteur of destiny. It convinces the mind to trade long-term purpose for short-term release. It blinds vision, distorts judgment, and turns ambition into chaos. But the one who learns to remain calm under pressure becomes indestructible. For calmness is not weakness, it is stored power. Do not mistake silence for passivity. The calm mind is not an idle mind. It is a directed mind. While others shout, the calm thinker observes. While others panic, he plans. While others surrender, he adjusts. The world mistakes movement for progress, but stillness is often the greatest form of movement, the movement of mastery. To master emotion is to refuse to be ruled by reaction. Every great decision must be made from clarity, never from chaos. When emotion dominates, the mind becomes blind. But when the will commands, emotion becomes energy, a current directed by purpose. Think of emotion as electricity. Uncontrolled, it burns. Directed, it illuminates. The wise do not suppress emotion. They harness it. They transmute anger into action, fear into focus, pain into persistence. Now understand this. Emotional detachment is not coldness. It is composure. It is the ability to feel deeply without drowning, to care without clinging, to act without needing approval. Detachment is freedom. It is the liberation of energy once wasted on worry. It is the discipline of letting things move without losing your center. The detached mind sees clearly because it is no longer clouded by need. And from that clarity, discipline is born. Self-discipline is the invisible architecture of every empire. It is the quiet force that builds what emotion destroys. Every great achievement stands upon it. The world admires results, but discipline is the cause behind every result. You cannot escape the law of cause and effect. You can only learn to use it. He who disciplines his thoughts disciplines time. He who disciplines his habits disciplines fate. The law is merciless only to the lazy, but generous to the disciplined. For discipline is the proof of belief. The undisciplined claim to want success, but their habits expose their disbelief. The disciplined do not need to declare conviction. Their routine reveals it. Understand this truth. No one fails suddenly. Failure is the result of small indulgences repeated daily. Likewise, no one succeeds suddenly. Success is the result of small disciplines repeated daily. The man who controls his morning controls his day. The man who controls his thoughts controls his destiny. Discipline your thinking, for thought is the root of all creation. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between truth and lie. It simply obeys the pattern you repeat. Every thought is a command. Every belief is a blueprint. Feed your mind weakness, and it will build limitation. Feed it faith, and it will build strength. The undisciplined mind drifts, and drifting is death to potential. To train the mind, you must observe it. Watch what it does when you are not directing it. Observe where it wanders, what it repeats, what it fears. This is not self-criticism, it is self-awareness. You cannot command what you do not understand. You must become both the general and the soldier of your own consciousness. And as you observe, begin to replace reaction with reflection. When insulted, think. When tempted, pause. When uncertain, breathe. The moment between impulse and action is where power lives. The man who rules that moment rules himself, and he who rules himself rules his world. Thought, my friend, is the first cause of all. You are where you are because of the dominant thoughts you have allowed to dwell within. You will be where you desire to be the moment your dominant thoughts change. The law is simple, eternal, unbreakable. As a man thinketh, so shall he become. But thought alone is not enough. Thought must be married to faith and expressed through action. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the quiet certainty that what you hold within must appear without. Faith does not ask when or how. It knows that the law will fulfill itself in perfect sequence and timing. The faithless demand evidence before they act. The faithful act and evidence follows. Faith is not blind optimism. It is intelligent trust. It is confidence in the principle that what you think repeatedly, feel deeply, and act upon deliberately must manifest inevitably. Every prayer, every affirmation, every vision is but a seed. The soil is your subconscious. The water is your repetition. The light is your faith. When you combine them, manifestation is law, not luck. Do not mistake speed for progress. The law works through rhythm, not rush. You may not see immediate results, but every act of discipline plants a seed in the unseen. The impatient abandon the process before the harvest appears. The wise persist until the invisible becomes visible. And what sustains persistence? Purpose. For no man can endure monotony without meaning. Purpose turns routine into ritual. It transforms labor into devotion. It makes patience possible, endurance joyful, and sacrifice sacred. Definiteness of purpose is the magnetic force of the mind. Without it, energy scatters. With it, energy unites. The undisciplined chase 10 goals and achieve none. The disciplined pursue one with relentless precision. The world steps aside for the man who knows where he is going. Purpose is not discovered, it is decided. It is born when you declare, "This is what I will serve." It is not a question of preference, but of devotion. The mind aligned with purpose no longer wastes energy on confusion. It becomes clear, and clarity creates momentum. Yet even purpose is powerless without accurate thinking. The undisciplined mind believes whatever flatters emotion. The disciplined mind believes only what serves truth. Emotion asks, "How do I feel?" Accurate thinking asks, "What is true?" And truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is the only foundation strong enough to build success upon. Truth will often demand correction. Correction will demand humility. But humility is not weakness. It is openness to learning. The man who cannot be corrected cannot grow, and the man who cannot grow cannot lead. Accurate thinking begins when ego ends. To live a life that works, you must stop chasing comfort and start obeying law. The universe does not reward the emotional, it rewards the disciplined. It does not serve the impulsive, it serves the aligned. It does not answer to noise, it answers to focus. You must therefore discipline your attention as you would train a wild horse. Bring it under control through practice, patience, and repetition. When you can hold your focus on one purpose until the goal is achieved, you will possess more power than the undisciplined masses combined. Your attention is your most valuable possession. Wherever it goes, your life follows. If your attention lives in the past, you repeat pain. If it lives in fear, you repeat hesitation. But if you fix it upon purpose, you command progress. Focus is the invisible magnet of mastery. It transforms minutes into momentum. It turns effort into efficiency. It multiplies results, but it demands exclusion. You cannot focus if you cannot say no. And every yes to distraction is a no to destiny. Guard your attention as you would guard treasure. The modern world is designed to steal it through noise, novelty, and need. But you are not a slave to technology, nor a servant to temptation. You are the sovereign of your consciousness. Withdraw your focus from the meaningless and the meaningful will multiply. And when the journey tests you, as it must remember, the law does not test to punish, but to prove. Every delay is development in disguise. Every setback is strength training for the will. The man who persists when others quit builds invisible muscle. The longer he endures, the more the universe conspires. Persistence is faith made visible. It is the decision to continue even when feeling fades. It is the refusal to retreat from purpose. You may fail 1,000 times, but failure is never fatal until you stop trying. No defeat is permanent unless you accept it. The disciplines see defeat as instruction, not destruction. And finally, as this law unfolds in your life, you will awaken to the greatest revelation of all, that success is not external. It is internal order reflected outward. Wealth, achievement, recognition, these are only symptoms of an inner condition. The true prize is peace. For when your life truly works, you no longer feel the need to prove, compete, or chase. You move with quiet certainty, knowing that you are in harmony with the law. You act because it is right, not because it is rewarded. You persist because it is principle, not because it is pleasant. And in that alignment, you discover the supreme gift, freedom. Freedom from confusion, freedom from emotional slavery, freedom from doubt, the freedom of mastery. This, then, is the essence of the 7 rules. Govern emotion, discipline thought, think accurately, decide with faith, control attention, persist without fatigue, live by law. And when you do, life will not merely work, it will obey. There will come a moment when you will look back and realize that every trial, every doubt, every delay, every night of silent persistence was not punishment but preparation. You will see that nothing was wasted. Not the failures that burned you, not the losses that humbled you, not the fears that haunted you. For every experience was designed to strip away illusion and reveal the truth, that you were never powerless, only undisciplined. The fire of frustration was the furnace that forged composure. The silence of solitude was the classroom where law whispered its eternal lesson that everything moves by order and nothing stands against the man who lives in alignment with it. When you master the inner world, the outer world bends without resistance. You will begin to notice that what once angered you now amuses you. What once discouraged you now instructs you. What once frightened you now fuels you. You will no longer waste emotion on what you cannot control, because your energy has been consecrated to what you can. That is emotional detachment, not withdrawal from life, but domination of self. It is the stillness of the ocean beneath the storm. And from that stillness, clarity arises, the kind of clarity that separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. The undisciplined see obstacles. The disciplined see opportunities disguised as training. The undisciplined beg for motivation. The disciplined build momentum. The undisciplined ask for easier circumstances. The disciplined refine themselves until circumstances no longer matter. You will reach a point where excuses no longer appeal to you. You will realize that life is not unfair, it is precise. It rewards what is in harmony with law and removes what violates it. You will understand that every act of discipline deposits energy into an unseen account, and when the time is right, that account pays dividends far beyond effort. When your life begins to work, it will feel less like striving and more like flowing. You will not chase opportunity. Opportunity will orbit your focus. You will not manipulate results. You will magnetize them. For the mind in harmony with law is no longer forcing, it is creating. It is no longer wishing, it is commanding. And the great paradox will dawn on you, that true control is not force, but surrender, not surrender to weakness, but surrender to order. When you align your will with principle, you cease struggling against reality. You begin to move with it, and in doing so, you harness the power that moves worlds. The man who has mastered these 7 laws lives by rhythm, not reaction. His mornings are not rushed. They are rituals. His nights are not restless. They are review. His words are not noise. They are commands. His silence is not emptiness. It is creation. He no longer asks, "What do I want from life?" He asks, "What does life want through me?" And that question transforms everything. He becomes a vessel through which order flows, a man who does not need to seek success because he has become its embodiment. His peace cannot be stolen because it no longer depends on circumstance. His progress cannot be stopped because it no longer depends on motivation. He has become law in motion. Understand this. There is a rare moment when discipline becomes delight, when restraint becomes freedom, when focus becomes flow. That is the moment the student becomes the master. And from that moment on, everything in life begins to serve him because he has learned to serve principle. You may not be there yet, but you are on the path. Every morning you rise and conquer emotion, you ascend. Every time you act when you do not feel like it, you ascend. Every time you observe rather than react, you ascend. Every time you turn silence into strategy, pain into patience, defeat into design, you ascend. And one day, without fanfare, without announcement, you will cross an invisible line. You will realize that you no longer need to force yourself to be disciplined because discipline has become you. It will no longer be an effort to live by principle because principle has become nature, and that is when life will open to you. From that day on, you will no longer feel that you are chasing destiny. You will feel that destiny is carrying you. You will sense that every event, every meeting, every outcome is somehow arranged for your advancement. You will live in rhythm with something larger than yourself, and in that rhythm, all struggle will end. You will speak less and accomplish more. You will move slower but achieve faster. You will plan with precision and act without hesitation. You will think in cause, not effect in purpose, not pressure. Your calmness will be your weapon. Your detachment will be your armor. Your faith will be your compass. And your discipline will be your crown. People will ask you what your secret is, and you will smile, because there will be no secret, only law. Law applied, law obeyed, law embodied. And in that quiet certainty, you will discover the greatest reward of all. Peace, the peace that passes understanding, because it does not depend on conditions. The peace that comes when you no longer fight reality but master it. The peace that arrives when your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions move as one. That is a life that works. A life that does not require endless fixing because it is built on foundation. A life that does not break under change because it is rooted in principle. A life that does not seek balance because it is balance. And when you live such a life, you do not merely succeed, you fulfill your function as a conscious creator. You become proof that law is alive. You become the living demonstration that order exists within chaos, that purpose exists within pain, that mastery exists within man. So as you leave this moment, take this truth with you. Your life will always work to the degree that you do. If you discipline your mind will discipline your world. If you master your emotions will magnify your strength. If you govern your habits will guard your destiny. The laws are waiting. The order is constant. The choice is yours. Let this be the moment you choose, command over chaos, clarity over confusion, law over luck. Let this be the day you decide that your emotions will serve your mission, not sabotage it. Let this be the year that discipline ceases to be an effort and becomes an instinct. And when you have done this, life itself will salute you, not with applause, but with alignment, not with comfort, but with command, not with noise, but with peace. For the world does not reward those who wish. It rewards those who work according to principle. And when you live by law, every moment becomes an ally. Every challenge becomes a teacher. Every day becomes an opportunity to prove that a life built in order cannot collapse in chaos. So rise, not in haste, but in harmony. Stand, not in pride, but in power. Walk, not in fear, but in faith. And live, truly live, as one who has mastered the laws that make life work. For that, and that alone, is the secret of unstoppable success. And so there comes a final law, the law that sits above all others, the law of dominion. The day you realize that the greatest battlefield you will ever face lies within your own consciousness is the day you become dangerous to mediocrity. For the undisciplined live by reaction, but the disciplined create reality. The masses drift because they never decide, they never discipline, they never detach. But you who have heard this truth have no such excuse. You have glimpsed the pattern behind power. You have seen how thought commands destiny, how calmness governs chaos, how detachment frees energy, how discipline manifests dominion. And now you must act, not tomorrow, not someday, now. The clock is not your master, it is your mirror. It reflects what you do with your mind. If you waste your hours will waste you. If you master your focus will master fate. For life is not waiting. It is watching, watching whom to reward. You must burn indecision to the ground. You must end the war between what you know and what you do. Let the lazy mind perish within you. Let the frightened self die tonight. Let the disciplined self rise clean, sharp, decisive. Stand like law itself, unmoved, unstoppable, undeniable. There will come a point perhaps when the world doubts you, when fatigue whispers surrender, that you will feel something ignite within your chest. It will not be pride, it will not be emotion. It will be command, pure, unbreakable command. The moment you feel that, you will know that you have become cause itself. From that point forward, you will not seek the path, you will build it. You will not hope for strength, you will embody it. You will not chase success, you will summon it. Every great empire, every immortal achievement, every indestructible legacy began not with chance, not with comfort, but with mastery of mind. And when you rise to that plane, all of creation recognizes you. Circumstances begin to rearrange. People sense your energy and respond before you speak. Time itself seems to move in rhythm with your intent. For the universe is obedient to order, and you have become order incarnate. So rise. Rise like the sun that never apologizes for shining. Rise like the tide that obeys no man but law. Rise like the fire that burns without permission. Rise as the embodiment of principle, the living demonstration of discipline, the quiet storm of composure that no force can unmake. Do not look to the world for permission. It was never theirs to give. The world belongs to those who have mastered themselves. The world bends to those whose hearts are calm and whose wills are absolute. You were born for this, to be the unmoved mover, the builder of law, the ruler of inner space. And when you have mastered these 7 rules, when your thought is definite, your discipline unwavering, your detachment complete, your faith immovable, your attention controlled, your persistence endless, and your alignment perfect, you will feel it. The silence of power, the stillness that hums beneath victory, the peace that follows dominion. That silence is not emptiness, it is authority. It is the sound of law fulfilling itself through you. It is the moment you stop living by reaction and start living by command. And when that silence comes, you will know. Your life does not merely work, it creates. So go not timidly, but triumphantly, not half awake, but fully alive. Step into the discipline that will make your destiny inevitable. Live as if the universe were built to obey your order, because when you align with law, it is. The world is yours to command. If you can first command yourself,